Discovered check. How does that grab you, Caesar?
Your move, Imperator.
Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn. Today's deck is me trying to find the absolute definitive version of a Rakdos Anvil deck. We have some new toys in Lost Caverns of Ixalan that make it really interesting and evolve it to what I think might be the definitive final version of a deck like this. Before we talk about the deck, I want to just give a huge shout out to my patrons over at patreon.com/quarantinecapricorn. That's Yuck Foozy, Squirrel, Noah Vincent, and Brittany at the Brew Crew Elite tier. And then, of course, our forever CPU savior, Terrence Robach. Thank you guys for your contributions. Also want to remind you that we do have a spoiler shorts playlist. I'm going to link up above and down below for Lost Caverns of Ixalan cards. And we will start to put alchemy cards into that playlist as the alchemy cards get announced, so make sure to check that out. I know alchemy's kind of cringe. If you agree with me, let me know down below. If you think I'm an idiot for thinking that, also let me know in the comments below. But with all that out of the way, this deck is called Omega Anvil, and that it's called Omega Anvil because I think it might be the final version, at least as far as what we have for cards in the card pool, in the environment right now. It's what I think is the closest to being at least my definitive version of Rakdos Anvil. We're trying some new toys. We want to stick to Rakdos for this build because we want to use 4 Mycosynth Gardens and be able to basically be playing with 8 anvils, which is almost impossible to do if you're in 3 color because the deck gets slowed down way too much if you're 3 colors with 4 filter lands in it. But for Rakdos, I think it works amazing. We have some new cards that make it even better. Dowsing Device is absurd, man. Like, Dowsing Device is in my top 5 cards for the new set. Absolutely. That card is so underappreciated and underutilized right now. So we absolutely put it to good use. Before we break down the deck, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. I'm getting ahead of myself. We are this close to 3,000 subscribers. This close, and I have so many things planned. I have bringing live streams to the YouTube channel planned. We have channel memberships. I've got a merch store I'm working on. There's so much coming, and I'm hoping it lines up with when we hit 3K. So if you haven't yet, make sure and subscribe. Also, catch me live over on Twitch Monday through Friday. That's twitch.tv/quarantinecapricorn, because if I'm live and I'm streaming, I'm alive and I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. If I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming. Even if I'm tired and I should be sleeping, let's break down this deck. Alright, so this is Omega Anvil, and this is what I think is pretty damn close to the best version of Rakdos Anvil, thanks to some key cards from Lost Caverns of Ixalan that we've introduced into the deck. We'll go over those at the end, but really quick, let's just talk about the curve. Obviously, we're running 4 Oni-Cult Anvil, that's the backbone of the deck. 2-mana artifact. Whenever we sack an artifact for the first time on our turn, we will get a 1/1 artifact creature. We can also tap this and sack any artifact to ping our opponent for 1 and gain 1 life. So the idea here is we build up a swarm of tokens as an army with multiple copies of Anvil, and we're increasing the consistency of getting to our multiple copies of Anvil by using 4 copies of the Mycosynth Gardens. So as soon as we have an Anvil out, we can pay 2 mana, tap the Mycosynth Gardens, turn it into another Anvil. So this deck basically having 8 copies of Anvil and being able to consistently get to 2 copies of Anvil at least, sometimes even 3 or 4, is what really puts this deck over the top and makes it super powerful. That being said, in order to run 4 of these lands, which tend to slow us down because they only filter for a mana of a particular color and otherwise just tap for a colorless, we need to be in just 2 colors. It's really hard to make Mycosynth Gardens work in a 3-color build if we're trying to stay on curve and we're trying to keep up with our opponent's tempo. Because if we have to end up using that filtering too much, it can be a huge detriment to that. So the version in which we can actually run the 4 Mycosynth Gardens and feel pretty okay about it, and not have it hurt our tempo, is the 2-color version, which is why we're sticking to 2 colors for this deck, and we're running all 4 copies of the Mycosynth Gardens. Now, starting at the bottom of the curve, we've got 4 research desks and 4 experimental synthesizers, because they are going to be artifacts that work with our synergies, that also dig us deeper into more cards, get us to our land drops, get us to our key cards we need to find, like the Anvil, and they're both reusable as well, so we get multiple triggers. Very, very effective. We've got 4 Voldaren Epicures, because it's going to give us an artifact token when we play it on turn 1, and then we can use that artifact token with the Anvil on turn 2, and that's key. We're also running 4 Gingerbrutes, because it's an artifact that if we have to, we can sacrifice it to the Anvil, but if we don't have to, it provides some evasion and a way to just get in for extra damage a little bit later in the game, which is nice. There's some other synergies with Gingerbrute that we'll get to in just a bit. Moving on to the 2-drop slot, we have 4 Yotia Declares War. Those of you who have followed this channel for a while know that this is one of my favorite cards. I think it's underutilized, and it just creates so much value for the right deck that's able to take advantage of it. So we get the O2 Flying Thopter on 1, but what's important about that is we get an artifact token as well as this enchantment in play for just the 1 card, which is nice. And then on Chapter 2, we get removal, and in a deck that's just all artifacts, that Chapter 2 can be really powerful, can sometimes take out a Sheoldred all by itself, and we can always read ahead to it if we're desperate and just kill something that turn and not make the Thopter if we need to. And then on Chapter 3, we get some more aggro added into the mix by being able to turn one of our artifacts into a 4/4 and slamming in. We've also got 4 Bloodtithe Harvesters, another relevant creature that can trade early or act as removal with our blood tokens. With the 8 creatures that we have making blood tokens, we can probably consistently get to 2. And give -4/-4 to things. Sometimes we can get to even more than that and kill something like a Sheoldred, which is nice. But the fact that this is a relevant body that can trade or provide more early aggression on the opponent if they're playing control, and then also gives us an artifact to sack to the Anvil, is incredibly important. We've also got 2 Surge Ingers. In a deck like this, where we're sacrificing artifacts constantly, Surge Inger can get absolutely huge. And if our opponent has already used up their removal on our earlier plays, and then we slam this just a little bit later in the game, maybe with haste, which is way easier to do and way more consistent to do in this deck now because of some of the new cards I'll get to in just a minute, this guy can be absolutely gnarly. He can get really, really huge. He can scry us into what we need consistently if we're looking for an Anvil or whatever the case may be. So really, really good card here. Normally I would run just one of this because it's legendary, but it's so good in this deck because we're constantly sacrificing artifacts that I'm gonna run 2. We've also got 1 Agatha's Soul Cauldron. This is really good both with the Harvester and the Gingerbrute, because we can turn all of our creatures into removal if we have blood tokens by exiling the Harvester, or we can turn all of our creatures into evasive threats by exiling the Gingerbrute and getting that ability to be unblockable unless they have haste. It's not primarily what we're going for with this deck, so I'm just running the 1 copy. If we get it, cool. If we don't get it, it's whatever. It's not the main thing we're trying to do with the deck, but it is good enough that I am going to include the 1 copy as a legendary, to have access to that if we happen to snag it during a game. We're going to talk about the new cards now. We've already talked about 8 Anvil, which is insane. Dowsing Device. This card is absolutely nuts. And for anybody that's seen my Boros artifact deck that I put up not too long ago, you know how good this card can be. But in this deck, it's especially good because every time our Anvil sacks something and makes an artifact creature, that artifact creature is going to come into play, trigger the Dowsing Device, and can give itself +1 attack and haste so that it can immediately swing in, which is kind of insane. What makes this card even better is the fact that we can copy it with the Mycosynth Garden. So if we don't want to copy the Anvil, or maybe we don't have an Anvil yet, but we have the opportunity to copy a Dowsing Device, If we copy it with the Gardens will become a copy of the Dowsing Device that can never flip. And therefore, every single time an artifact comes into play for the rest of the game, it's going to give something +1 attack and haste. And with being able to get multiple artifacts in play, multiple triggers, if we have like 3 anvils out and we sack something, we get 3 tokens into play, and then that gets 3 triggers, 3 different creatures, they each get +1/+0 in haste. It can get absolutely absurd. So having a Dowsing Device that will never flip is awesome, and then having the original version, after we copy it, flip into Geode Grotto, so we can go even further and pay 3 and tap this to give one of our creatures +1,000,000,000+0. Make every single one of our little tokens that we're making with the anvil a huge threat that they have to block over and over and over again. Every single turn, one of them is going to become a huge threat that they have to block, or it'll just get in for too much damage. And eventually we could just grind out wins that way by being aggressive with our little 1/1s that are now going to be like 10/1s. It's pretty wild. Another new card we're running is Mephitic Draught. I think it's called Draft. Let me know in the comments below if it's Draft or Drought. I'm sure it's one of those two. I don't fucking know. Anyway, 2 mana, artifact, enters the battlefield or is put into the graveyard. We draw a card and lose a life. This is awesome because we are incentivized to sacrifice the Drought. We're incentivized to sacrifice this card, which is what we want to do anyway because of the anvil. So we jam it, we draw a card, we can sack it to the anvil or some other things in the deck, draw another card, get the anvil triggers. It's absolutely perfect for the deck. One last card we're running 2 copies of that I think is absolutely insane in this deck is Tarrian's Journal. Legendary artifact for 2 mana, we can tap it and sack an artifact or creature to draw a card for no mana, which is super important, and then we can pay 2, tap this, discard our hand to transform it. And normally we're not going to do that until we're out of cards anyway, so we're not really discarding anything, right? Turns into Tomb of Aclazotz, which is not only good because it's going to be a free land that ramps us, and we're playing with a very minimal amount of land, so being able to get free ramp and free mana, an extra free land every turn because of Tarrian's Journals and Dowsing Devices is super good. But we can also tap this and cast a creature spell from our graveyard, and it enters with a finality counter on it and is a vampire in addition to its other types. So this is the reason we don't want to run too many Agatha's Soul Cauldron. We still want to run the 1 because it can be really good, especially if we just exile our opponent's creatures. But if we can bring our creatures back instead of exiling them with the Soul Cauldron, with Tomb of Aclazotz, sometimes it's just too much value, and we can just completely go over the top of our opponent, especially when we're making multiple tokens every turn, bringing back our Harvesters to give us another blood token to go off again, bringing back our Gingerbrutes, our Epicures, our Sir Gingers, can be really, really good. But we mainly want to use this for the front side, because being able to sacrifice our artifacts to the Tarrian's Journal to draw and still trigger the Oni-Cult Anvil is just absolutely insane and gives us a ton of card advantage. So 2 Tarrian's Journals, because if we get a second one, we don't mind just flipping the first one into the Tomb of Aclazotz and then playing the second one. So I think 2 is the right number here. And then the land, we want to make sure we have all of our red and black, because we have a lot of 1-drops that require a specific color. We have Bloodtithe Harvester that specifically requires a red and a black. So we have to be very careful about making sure we have as much black and red mana as possible, since we're running 4 copies of Mycosynth Gardens that are going to slow us down if we need to use them for colored mana. So everything's a dual land pretty much. We've got 4 Cliffs, 4 Haunted Ridge, 4 Sulfurous Springs, just the 1 Restless Vents, because we usually want to try to play something on turn 1 and not have to play a tapped land. But it is good enough, and it does help us get that 1 extra dual land in there to help fix us. I think it's good enough as one of, even if we draw it later in the game, to add some extra pressure, give us a way to discard things into the yard that maybe we can use from the yard with something like Tarrian's Journal or the Soul Cauldron or what have you. So just the 1 Restless Vents I think is worth playing. We've got 1 Mountain in case they hit us with land destruction, and then 1 Mirrex, because the Mirrex can be whatever color we need when it comes out, so it can be key for getting us that turn 2 Harvester if we absolutely need to, or turn 2 Anvil. But then later in the game, it's going to make artifact creature tokens that we can then either sacrifice to the anvil, or we can pile counters on, or use Geode Grotto to turn into a giant threat to swing in with. Get a lot of value off each of those tokens. So we can't really include more than one Mirrex because we can't have the risk of having two in our first 4 lands while we're curving out, or we get into a position where sometimes we can't cast as many spells in our hand as we maybe otherwise could have because we just don't have enough colored mana on subsequent turns. So we can't really risk going more than one. But the one Mirrex, absolutely worth it alongside the 4 Mycosynth Gardens, and then because of those lands, everything else has to be duels, except for this one only basic. That's the deck. I do think this is close to, if not the best version of a strictly Rakdos Anvil list. If you have ideas about cards that I didn't think of that should be in this, that you think would make it even better, make sure and comment down below and let me know. But with all that out of the way, let's check out these games. If we copy a Dowsing Device, does it never transform the copy? So we just keep getting triggers off of it? We're gonna have to try that. I'll keep 7. We're definitely gonna have to try that. Alright, Harvester. I mean, I guess we just go with this to start, right? Swing. And then do this. Another one. Good grief. I don't know if we copy yet. I think we get both Harvesters down first. He's just dead next turn, right? Pugnacious Hammer Skull. Oh god. Oh god. Alright, 1, 2. We're just going for it, man. It goes in the yard. We can use Soul Cauldron next turn. Kind of want to keep that blood token, I think. We'll just do this. I don't know how he comes back. Way too close to dead. We'll keep this. Well, I've never heard of Harry MTG, and that's probably why. Alright, we're gonna play the anvil. We're gonna do a thing. It's literally like night and day on best of 3. I play best of 3 and it feels like playing actual Magic. It feels like playing physical cards. As far as the randomness, the shuffler, all that. It's so refreshing. And then I go back to best of 1, and it's just like, it feels rigged every game. So crazy. I mean, I want to Yotia Declares War, but I would have to tap my Anvil and my Construct to kill the Scoundrel. That doesn't feel worth it. I'm just gonna do this. Drain 1, make a 1/1, pass the turn. Next turn we can Yotia Declares War and actually do some things with it. Clown Teeth. Well, alright then. Smash. Hello, sir? Witch Stalker's Frenzy? That's rude. I'll take it. I'll take it. He is very out of gas. We're just gonna do this. We're not gonna take any chances of him sneaking in, like having a pump spell and then top decking a pump spell. No, sir. No, siree. End the turn. I think we just win next turn. Pretty sure. Alright, we'll go to 7. Alright, here we go. We're gonna go, like this. Then we're gonna go like this. Then we're gonna go like this. Then we're gonna swing. That's 8. Looks good to me. Kill you? Kill the boy? Huh? Why didn't you just let yourself get hit by the ping? You shut your whore mouth. Okay? Guys, there's a random whore mouth in my apartment just spewing bullshit at me. I don't know what to do about it.
I'll just walk behind you and lift the vest up on your head. They can see what furniture is.
Nothing is fine. Nothing is fine! I guess, what are we doing? 2 Gingerbrutes? Makes sense to me. Just do 2 Gingerbrutes, right? Is he gonna play... Knowing my luck, he's gonna play fucking... that 2-drop 1/1 that makes another 1/1. What's that guy called? Yeah, that one. Resolute Reinforcements. Fuck my life. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it. He didn't block? This man's insane. Javi, what are you thinking? Javi's out of his goddamn mind. Absolutely out of his mind. Alright, we're gonna synthesizer. It was wild. I'm glad you understand. I mean, guess we got a research desk, right? We'll crack it end of turn. We need to find an anvil so we can copy the anvil and then we can just win. We can do it, guys. Believe in me. Believe in the heart of the cards. And don't you dare call out the fact that they're not actually cards. They're just pixels on a screen. They still have hearts. They're still with me. Come on, Javi. I want to believe. What a dick. Who does he think he is? At least he's almost out of gas. And all he has to show for it is a bunch of 1/1s. If we find our anvil, it's gonna be lights out. Guerrilla radio. Turn that shit up. I mean, I suppose something that can effectively block his 1/1s would probably be best. Right? Shush. Don't make me come over there. We're gonna slow roll this. Chapter 1. No attacks. Hold up some blocky blocks. We'll kill something next turn. My dog will growl at them to try to intimidate them. Oh, what a dick. What a dick. Dude, you're a dick. This guy's a dick. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We go to 1. I don't think we can go to 1. Yeah, I don't think we can go to 1. Let's do this. 3 we might be able to make work. We'll tap our synthesizer. Kill this guy. We definitely want to play Yotia Declares War. We definitely don't want to take any more damage, so the draft is off the table. Probably Agatha's Soul Cauldron, right? Chapter 1. And then Agatha's Soul Cauldron. It's going to be real close. We're going to go to 1. Probably, unless he has another recruiter, in which case we're just dead. But it's the best we can do. If we stay alive this turn, we stabilize, and I think we're fine. Especially if we can just find an anvil. We are now a quarter of the way through our deck. We have not found one. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What a joke. Man, I wish I would. Alright, this looks fine. We'll keep it. Dowsing Device is insane. It's one of my top 5 favorite cards in the new set, for sure. Alright, we're going to lead with a Haunted Ridge. Which is kind of depressing. Not gonna lie. God. 3 Haunted Ridges. Only 4 lands in the deck that come into play tapped on turn 1 or 2. And we got 3 of them. I guess that's what happens. Just play the Dowsing Device, I think. I think that's better. I think that is better. Sick. Look at us go. Look at us go. Dowsing Device, guys. Dowsing Device. So nuts. That's sad. You just made me depressed. You should feel ashamed of yourself. Shame. Understand? Absolute and utter shame. Chapter 1. I guess we'll just swing 5. Should we copy something? We could copy something if we really wanted to. I think I'll save it though. The only thing is if we were to copy something right now, we would get +4 attack on our Geode Grotto instead of 3 next turn. Cheaty McShifty. Keep 7. Lead with a Cliffs. I mean, I guess we'll just Gingerbrute, right? Makes sense to me. Ellis. You son of a bitch. I think we just get the Dowsing Device down, and then we offer a trade with the Brute. It means next turn we can Epicure Sir Ginger. Give the Sir Ginger haste. Well, not anymore. I lied. I'm a lying liar who lies. I'm such a liar. I mean, we can still do it. We just won't flip the Dowsing Device, which is fine. Man, Dowsing Device is nuts. That card is so crazy. It's just too good, man. It's just too good. I don't care how much life you gain. Okay. That is in fact a thing you can do. Alright, we're gonna start with Synthesizer. See what we hit. A land. Bummer. Because I don't want to play that land. At least it gets rid of it though, right? Wild. Alright, 2 Dowsing Devices in play, with 4 artifacts, and neither of them are flipped. We're doing stuff, guys. We're doing stuff and things. Alright, gain 2 life. That is not enough. 2 life is not enough. Now, the problem we have here is we have no way of avoiding the goddamn Ruin Lurker bat, right? We would have to sack some stuff. Let me think. Let's do this. And now we swing, and he has to chump with the Ruin Lurker bat? Okay, he just doesn't. Guess that's fine. 1, 2. He could gain 4. I don't think he can gain 5 though. Yep, that's just 4. That is just 4, my friend. Let's see. Do we want to anvil? Black, red, play the anvil, then we go to another anvil. Then we sack you. We get 2 more off the Dowsing Device. Don't need you. And then we swing with the boys. That's fine. That's also fine. Puts him at 9. Let's bottom that. We want to get to a land, honestly. Because we want to be able to activate Geode Grotto and still have a mana left to do something else, like play a Mishra's Research Desk or something like that. Get a trigger off Dowsing Device, get another +1 to the Geode Grotto. I think we got him this game. Gain 2 life, scry 2. So that's 2, 4. It's not going to be enough to make an angel. Oh wait, it is? Confused. He gained 2 life, and then he swung with a 2/2 lifelinker. So So where did he get the extra life from? Oh, it got double strike. So we gained 4 from it. I guess that makes sense. Alright, we're gonna go red synthesizer. We need to hit a land. Oh, that's the wrong land. God damn. Alright, alright, alright. Maybe we can still hit a land. Nope. Honestly, kinda close. Honestly, kinda close. Too little too late, though. Unfortunately. Too little too late. That's unfortunate. We were doing some really crazy things, and he just got really lucky. This looks fine. We'll keep this. Gingerbrute on 1. Or maybe we should have Epicure so that we could play Anvil on 2 and use it. Yeah, it looks like that was probably what we should have done. Well, we're going to do it like this. Because why not? The Great Door, eh? The Great Door. Alright, we're going to discard the mountain. Draw a card. Make a 1/1. And swing 2. Not awful. Interesting. Could theoretically give him a lot of mana, right? Slogurk. Sure. Alright, we're gonna draw it. Draw a card. We will Tarrian's Journal. Tap the Tarrian's Journal. Sacrifice the Draught. Draw 2 cards. Sorry, draft. The draft. It's gotta be draft, right? Just awkward spelling. End the turn. We'll just chump block the Slogurk and sack it to the anvil. We'll get there over time, friends. Thunder Goldfish. Spectre of Mortality. Just one, huh? Scooby Dooby Doo. Where are you? We're gonna synthesizer. Then we're gonna sack the synthesizer. Then we're gonna do this. Swing with just the 3/1. And he's gonna block. I guess he wants it in the yard. But he's already got a creature in the yard, so it doesn't really contribute to him being able to transform. I guess it'll give him more mana once he does transform it, but... some wild stuff's about to happen here, guys. What's he killing? The anvil? No. The journal. Okay. That's quacktastic. Give me another card. Well, we can't give that haste if we play it. I think we go like this. Alright, goodbye. Goodbye, friend. He is running out of gas. I mean, he's got the Virtue of Persistence. And you can play it. Well then. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. If we had one more mana, we could do all the things. But we can't do all things. Do that. Another Sir Ginger. Wow. Gingerbrute. We'll do this. And we'll swing 12. It's pretty strong. Geode Grotto, man. We got the win next turn. He's gonna have to do a Spectre thing, right? Which, I mean, we're still close to killing him regardless. He's got to exile stuff. Alright, we get to scry. I mean, that actually seems pretty good, right? Yeah, we're gonna keep that. Because that's a very cheap way of getting 2 bodies onto the field, one of which can trigger our anvils. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. Not quite. Not quite. Do we want 2 anvils? I don't think we want 2 anvils right now. I think what we want to do is do this. Set ourselves up for next turn. Then go. And swing, and then he has to block with both. Sure, he gets some lands back, that's fine. Takes my Gingerbrute. The bastard. How dare he? Go big or go home, buddy. Takanuma. What's he gonna get back? A Slogurk, huh? I don't know if that was the right move. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we'd only have 1 extra mana left over. Which is not gonna quite do it. So we'll ping for 1. We'll make our 2 dudes. And then we'll go Bazoom. Bazoom. And smash. And then I think we win. There we go, baby. That was a game. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.